Hello, everybody. Welcome here, welcome back, whatever the case may be. I am getting ready today to try applying some prosthetic appliances and things to my face, some of which I've made, some of which I've purchased years ago and had, some that have been sort of damaged and destroyed, and we'll just see what I can do with them. But I am starting out by cleaning off any kind of oils and that off my face with some alcohol. I know I should not be doing that around my eyes, but I did anyway, so I do not recommend using alcohol around your eyes, but I was being somewhat careful. But I have fairly oily skin in that area, so I wanted to make sure I gave this opportunity the best chance it had to be successful. And that is the dirt and stuff that I remove from my face. Gross. So I am taking that same cloth and I'm kind of cleaning off this mirror that I use when I am making my prosthetic appliances. Now, I say that I've done it once. Now I'm going to be using this Prosade adhesive, which I've never used before. So this is my first time trying that. So I'm going to put a little bit on my mirror. I find mirrors are very easy to clean this kind of thing off of. And I'm taking a Q-tip or a cotton swab, and these are the ones that I made a while ago, and they're very, very rubbery. They're kind of heavy, so I don't know how they're going to work. This is why I wanted to test. I wasn't going to go with putting all the makeup on and everything else. I just wanted to test how things stuck to my face. And then I'm going to worry about details and such later. I just needed to learn some things. So I put this heavy appliance on and realized I needed more Prosade. That was not going to be near enough to stick this appliance down. Because like I said, for its size, it's pretty weighty. It's just pure, solid liquid latex. So I spend quite a bit of time just trying to hold this onto my face. I may speed some of this up. Now, I've got some little things here, just little ones, so I thought, well, I'll attach those. Some of them have little dangly bits on them, and I thought, oh, can I make that like flaps of pulling off skin or something? I don't think this is one of those. I think this is another one of the yeah, this is a smaller one. So it's not so heavy, so it was very easy to stick on. And I have to reattach the other side some more. And then you hold it on your face, and I thought, can I move my face with this on? So I was testing some things that way. And it's not too bad. I'm trying to put the ends in and get them to stick, because if you can get the ends stuck down, they're less likely to sort of pull up. But again, I wasn't real worried about that, so I'm looking for things to watch on YouTube while I am putting this on and letting it dry. I'm trying not to chop out bits of things like that, just because I want it to show how long it takes for certain things to get applied. And at no point did I really allow this to cure entirely on my face. I don't know if that's the right word, cure, set, whatever. Solidify, harden, whatever word you want to use. Dry. I didn't want it to be any harder to remove than it needed to be, and I was able to pull it off my face fairly easily. The residual Prosade and liquid latex got into my hair and my beard and things of that nature, and I was like, I wonder how easy this will be to get off. And I just put a little of the remover on a Q-tip and kind of put that around my face, and I kind of rubbed that around, let it sit there for a while, and it really did its job. It just slid right off of me. So I really, really do like the remover. I think it's the Ben Nye I use to remove. And it's the first time I've ever had to pull it out. I actually had to break the seal for the first time. And I've had that since last year. So good to know. I'm still trying to get those ends stuck down. And I realized that I kind of had it stuck down. It just felt like it was pulling off my face more than I thought it was. I was reacting to something on the YouTube. I was watching a call-in show and some caller said something really silly. I don't remember exactly what, but that's what I was reacting to. I did manage to cut a good 10 minutes out of this application of stuff where I was just looking for things or letting things sit a bit after I got them to stay in place, so I didn't show necessarily the whole time it was just sitting on my face, only the times where I was, trying to get it to adhere, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. This was a lot of fun. It was just, it's probably boring to watch. I don't know what this is like to watch. It gives me a lot of ideas for things down the road that I didn't want to put into detail, being as I knew I was just taking this off again. I didn't have a photo thing that I could do. This is kind of the middle of the night, which is when I decide to start trying things. It's just who I am. Sometimes I will have already gone to bed and then I will wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh, I need to do this. And then I just start doing it. And then I end up going to bed around 9 or 10 in the morning, and then I get up again by noon. It's just the way, it's just the way my own personal system works. I have very weird circadian rhythms that way. They're just unique to me, and they're not necessarily consistent rhythm. I go through the same kind of processes, but it's not a consistent time every day. I could be dead tired all day, just wanting to crawl into bed and sleep for a week. And as soon as the sun goes down, I'm wide awake whether I want to be or not. That's just how I've always operated. For 60 years, that's how I've operated. And it has nothing to do with what I choose. It's just how my body works. Now, I'm still going around and trying to add little details and make sure everything is kind of stuck to my face. And here we go, doing that. I look so thrilled, do I not? When I'm focused on what I'm trying to do. Yeah, it really was already on there. I don't know what I was thinking. Trying to make sure I can still move my face with that on there. And surprisingly, you really can. It gets on there really well, and then it just moves with your skin. So I don't know what would happen if I, took it from two areas that didn't move together, perhaps. I will be doing more experimenting as I go. This was, like I said, this was me taking pieces that I'd made, and then, see, these are all just like little things I pulled off the mirror after, trying to make them, and I thought, oh, can I make them like just little flaps of like deadish skin that's pulling up or something? And I can see, whereas if I added the makeup to really detail the prosthetics and the pieces that I attached to my face, it would really make a difference, right? I could have like a little bit of like a rash look around the flap of skin, or something that makes it look more like, it's coming from a sunburn, or like a burnt patch, or, because I was in a fire. I don't know. Just ideas to have. Now this is the liquid latex. Now I have done this before. I keep forgetting how runny it is, and it started kind of running off the mirror a little bit. So I ended up cleaning that off the floor, but I caught it very quickly. And I'm trying to put this around the edges, and you don't want to be touching it with your fingers that way. That I learned. It's not the easiest stuff to apply, but I am getting better. I think that worked pretty good around there, and then I could have, smoothed it down into more like of a skin-like thing, but that's not what I was trying to do. I also have ideas where I think I will take toilet paper and put it around that to make it look like it's a real open, sort of torn open thing, and my cheek is protruding through it somehow. That might work in a very cool way. But again, just getting the ideas. So I thought, well, if I just dab this on the skin, can I create some texture while I'm going about that? Because there were some sort of blank spaces in there. And I thought, oh, I'll just stick some in here and see how that goes. But it's mostly for the edges. I wanted to make sure those edges weren't going to come up and that was sort of, adhered down to my skin. But I could have made it blend more. I wasn't trying specifically for that at this time. But it was an interesting test. I do think I learned a lot. Now those edges are very thin down there. I probably could have laid them really flat. But again, didn't want to have problems getting it off my face. You just don't know when you're trying something for the first time. So here I am getting prostate into my short beard hair and getting liquid latex into my short beard hair. I did all of that up near the little hairs around my hairline. So the one thing I can recommend is to be more careful than I'm being here. Now I'm trying to find tools that I can use to help push it against my skin. So I found that these pumpkin carving tools from the dollar store that I got years ago are very effective because whatever builds up on them just comes right off, as opposed to when I was using a paintbrush. The paintbrush gets ruined. It just gets clogged with this stuff, and you can't really get it out of there. It just seals shut around the hairs. So that is something I learned. And as it's drying down, it really does. I can see where it would blend in to the skin. I'm not sure how to do all the colored stuff because this is pretty good. I tinted some is just the natural color sort of left on its own, and then where it builds up, it's a slight fleshy tone color. And then I took this, it's already drying and getting stringy, and this is where I'm saying, like, can I just add texture? And it doesn't, once it's starting to get dry, it really doesn't stick well. You have to get it at the right time. But I was able to get some of it on there. I don't know what it would be like when I put makeup over it. I'm hoping it would show texture, because I thought, well, a little darkish over it and maybe dry brush a lighter color to hit that, and you'll emphasize the bumpy texture. Just thoughts that I had while I was going about this. But yeah, it doesn't really stick, but you end up just being able to pull it right off of these tools. And it's already like a rubber. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. So the mirror just comes off the mirror pretty easily, and then you can just re-clean your mirror with whatever you want. Now, I got these, oh my gosh, probably close to 14 years ago, maybe. And it was one piece as a prosthetic, and I had cut it up into several pieces because I didn't necessarily want it to block out both eyes all the time. Sometimes I wanted one, sometimes I wanted the other. And it has created challenges from me, using it and then taking it off. And the last time I used it, I had put it on a very white face. So you can see that it's very, very white still. And I didn't bother putting makeup on, but I know I could bring that down to more of just the skin tone. But I didn't want to do that till I know what I'm going to be putting it on next. I try not to put makeup over top of things that don't need it yet. But yeah, these tools are really, really effective. I can't believe that it's just something I happen to have in the house that I bought because they're pumpkin carving tools, and I never use them to carve a pumpkin. But I am now using them to even design things. Like I use the scraper bits to, try and create shapes and whatnot in the latex that I'm forming. It's weird. I have some overlap because I'm putting the eyes fairly close together. Yeah, I'm not leaving them that way. But depending on how you put them in, you can really change the look on the face. You can make things look sadder, angrier, more frightened, just by how you attach your prosthetic. Not just what prosthetic you're taking, but how you attach it. So very, very useful skill, or very useful information rather, for me to find. Look how close I put those together on my face, but I do like that. It does give me an entirely different look than I've ever had before with these things. And they really did secure well. I didn't leave them on there a long time, like I said, but they really adhered. They really stuck nicely. And I figure once I get that done, then I can learn to put on the liquid latex around the edges and really make that blend into my skin, which I've never done before. They've always just been sort of like fried eggs on my face. As they look now, you can see that's what I always think of them as. They're just like fried eggs on my face with the yolk removed. Now, I wanted to try and put these horns, because I've attached them on my forehead with spirit gum, and one will always pop off. So I thought, well, if I try them with the Prozaid, but I want to put them in a place that's really hard to get them to stick. And if I can get them to stick here on the sides of my nose where they don't have a good grip surface that's flat, it has all kinds of dents and raised bits and things like that. So I want to see just how good I could make this stick to an area that it's not going to want to stick to. Now I'm going to pause and come back. That's what I did, because I wanted to see if it would stay, and it kind of did, but I wanted to give it a little bit more adherence. So this made me think of like a Cthulhu or I don't know. It's just so weird the way the shapes formed in front of my face when I did that. Yeah, don't ask me what I was doing. Just playing, and it's like, are they sticking at all? Nope, not yet. A little, but not much. Yeah, there they go. So I give up on those. And then this is a piece that I had made, and then I put just a little bit of a shiny, loose sparkle pigment powder over them. And it really was interesting how that changed the tone, because I kept it sort of pinky and flash, but it added this sheen that was sort of not natural. Now, I know it looks kind of like I'm sticking like a packet of plum sauce or something to my forehead. But again, this is a test of things I've tried. And again, it is a very thin flap there that I could probably get to adhere very closely to my skin. But it's just a rectangle shape. The next thing I want to try is do this, but see if I can make it look like a split of some kind. And that's what I'm going to, keep experimenting with. So I will be doing more of this in the future, but I will have some different designs. And I also want to do like some documentation of like how I make them. Okay, so now things have dried a little bit more. So now they're just a little bit more tacky instead of wet. So I'm gonna see if that helps it stick. And the short answer is yes. Yes, it's better if, like, if you're same as if you're doing the eyelashes or things, you know, you put the adhesive on, you let it dry down till it's just tacky, and then you use it, and it's a lot easier to work with because now it is staying. I'm not real secure with it yet. I don't know if I can really trust it, but I'm having a good time. And it really did make a difference. It really, really did. Ah, look at that. I got it to stick on my face in an area I didn't think I was going to be able to get it to stick to. Interesting, eh? Managed. No, I do. It's just a bunch of separate weird appliances that don't go together that I'm using. Yes, it's secured. Yes, it's secured. It doesn't feel like it's secured, but everything's secured. The edges aren't because I didn't put the detail into that, okay? That is still on there. It's not great. But because it doesn't close my nose, I can still breathe through it. And it's time to just start removing it. I was satisfied with what I'd learned. Egg number 1. Egg number 2. And I do like how stringy the bits kind of get. Yeah, I'm trying to talk, but I had the volume too loud and the camera was near the speakers, so you couldn't hear what I said anyway. Oh, that's satisfying. Kind of like peeling dead skin. Or white glue from school, but more satisfying because it's really stringy. And a little bit still came off without tearing. So you can reuse your appliances pretty good, I'd say. Now, I'm sure there are difficulties with that I have not experienced yet, so I will find out when I try the next one. Like a bunch of separate little rubber bands all stretching and breaking and snapping. And that one really wasn't adhered because it would have adhered really well if I let that dry. But then I'm finding out going, okay, those are the pieces still on my skin. And I realized I was very close to my eyelashes with that Prozaid, and I kind of don't think I want to do that. I don't want to get the Prozaid on my eyelashes. So perhaps it would behoove me to try something different next time. But there we go. That was my test. I hope everybody enjoyed that weird experience of mine. And until the next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.